Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome to the Christopher Mark Show. So today I have the privilege of introducing you guys to a return guest, Maria Teresa, and we're going to be talking about the importance of light language and the stages of enlightenment, and this is going to get real deep. So let's jump right into it. So, Maria, how are you?
Hi, I'm really great. I'm warm and cozy where I am. It's here, it's April, right? And it's snowing where
Uh,
I
yeah, it's 90 degrees here, so I don't know. The
am.
world has like turned down inside out right now. Yeah,
For sure it has.
yeah,
For sure it has. But I'm great. I'm great. It's great to
yeah,
be back here with you. And I'm ready
yeah,
for
yeah,
deep
yeah.
conversation. I love, diving deep. Let's go.
Okay, so before we begin into this like series of questions, I wanted to ask you like, how would you explain to people what is light language from your perspective?
Light language is a combination of all of the languages your soul has spoken in all lifetimes. I like to say that it's a mashup of all experiences that your soul has come to this earth to experience, and not just earth, because being a celestial shaman, I am very connected to my off-planet experiences as well. And so it really just depends on how much memory your soul carries into each lifetime and picks up. And so I know that, people have said to me when they listen to my light language that it sounds at times they can hear Hebrew, they can hear Latin, they can hear Arabic, I've been asked if I speak like Mandarin or Chinese. I mean, you name it. I do all of those things do fit. Yoruba, African dialects, Sanskrit, it just, yeah, all continents pretty much that I've gotten.
So when light language is spoken, how would you describe the effect that it usually has on people, or how are people supposed to feel? How is it different from normal languages, and how are people supposed to feel when they're receiving it?
Well, it is a frequency, and for me, I'll just start with like how I transmit and how I channel. Everything is heart centered, based on an intention, and so the effect on people is very deeply profound. It will reset your nervous system. It will bring about a lot of peace. What it is doing, it is recalibrating your subconscious. It's removing energetic blocks. There's so much that is going on, and it's really, I tell people don't concentrate on what any of this like. What does it feel like? It doesn't necessarily matter what it means, because I know in even my evolution of me speaking light language, I am now starting to understand more of what the message is. But that didn't happen right away. I just feel into it. And it's all based off an intention.
Gotcha. Okay. So how, I guess, in people receiving it from you, like how do people respond to you? Like how are they taking it in? Are they like, oh my God, this feels like this feels like that? What was the
Yeah,
feedback that you
so
received?
so I host collective healing events where I am channeling light language for a group of people, and everybody goes into a trance state. And when they come out of it, like when I am finished and I seal the ceremony, people are really quite out of it. I mean, that's just the truth. I say move slow, take deep breaths, drink a lot of water. This energy is it's very potent, it's high frequency. So you're going to want to hydrate your body. And people have all different kinds of effects. They can have a lot of energy all of a sudden. Some people experience fogginess, maybe their head is pounding because it is working on your energy field. So it's removing blockages. It is hitting all chakra points. And for me, to be quite honest with you, the effect of my light language creates physical purging. So a lot of people experience physical purging, which is a for real symptom.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm trying
So
to keep it all like professional and clean here, but I think you know what I mean when I say that. Be near a
yeah,
bathroom is what I say to people. And it's very normal because
uh,
your body is detoxifying from things that it no longer needs to hold on to.
Yeah, I remember when you sent me some light language, and well, let's just say I was, I spent a lot of time reading.
That's good. That's great.
So, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So how do you, okay, so if this is the effect that it has on people, how does it not affect you, or how does it affect you in any way?
Okay, so I want to even speak even further into this. So a lot of times people will have their own journeys, because I am a
Mm.
celestial shaman. I do connect with galactic beings, angels, very high frequency guides are on my spirit team. I have a very large spirit team. So people will have their own journeys connecting to either my guides or their own guides. But they will see things, they will hear things, they will feel things. Like it will awaken your own psychic senses. And for me, I just, I'm born a channel. I'm an open channel. So I'm I'm kind of used to just hanging back and just allowing spirit to come through me. That's a huge part of my practice. I've been doing this for a number of years now. So it's just it's literally just something that it just happens. It just comes out. And it feels really, really good because this is what I'm here to do. It's my gift.
So do you think that people who, you know, come to an event like yours, like, do you think they're in a space where like, okay, this is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm going through? Do you think it's because of how why do you think that they're affected in such a way where they need what you are offering?
Wow. I
Do you
mean,
think it's, you know what I mean?
repeat that again because you went out a little bit.
No, I'm saying like, why do you think that they're affected in a way where they need what you're offering? Like, because
Well,
where
I
it's
think,
it's essential for them to have.
yes, I think that everybody needs light language, whether they understand it or know that or not. Because we all are
Mm,
sensitive beings in this world, and all of us are affected by energy. Energy is everything. So, whether we feel stuck, whether we feel depressed, anxious, a lot of us right now, this is the great awakening that we are in. And so, people feel really discombobulated. There's so much going on. And what this does is it regulates your system.
mm. Okay, so once people are regulated, how long does that take? Does it take, I don't know, like, does it take like one session, or it takes a series of sessions? What would you say?
Well, I'd say the effects are pretty immediate after one session, but this does work best over a series of sessions. It really depends on what you're working with. I always tell people whatever your soul is ready to dive into and to heal is what I'm here to help people walk through. This is, vibrational frequency transformation. So depending on how sensitive you are, quite honestly, you know.
Yeah, I know, because I'm pretty sensitive. So, when you send it to me, I was like, okay. And I felt it right away. I was like, all right, I feel pretty good. Like, I was walking, I had more energy, I lost weight. I was like, okay, either this is good, or I'm turning into thinner, right? So I had to choose, right? So I'm like, all right,
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, I've
yeah,
heard
yeah.
all kinds of things. I have heard people connecting with their own ancestors and their own spirit guides. I've heard people seeing sacred geometry, and having visions of different places, whether they are places here on this earth or mythical places like Atlantis, the pyramids, just I've heard a lot. Nothing really surprises me, but then again, like, I travel into different dimensions and experience a lot of very ethereal and mystical adventures all the time. That's how I operate in this world. So there's really nothing that surprises me.
So I guess the everyday life of being a shaman, what is that like? How would you describe
Everyday life of being a shaman. Hmm.
it?
Well, I mean, spirits always. So I am an open channel, so that's a little different than everybody has their path, right? Has their conduits. For some people, have just a few guides, or they speak directly to their higher power, to their source. I am an open channel, So I am wired for humanity, and I literally connect to everything, absolutely everything. So whatever I'm around, like, if I'm around dogs, I'm talking to dogs. Dogs are talking to me. The trees. It really depends. I mean, I can tune in, or I can specifically decide to focus on something. So like when I start I'll just share with you, when I start my sessions, my team includes angels, ancestors, ascended masters, Arcturian beings, gods and goddesses, elemental and directional energies, spirit guides, highest and holiest of vibrational beings of light, and galactic kin. So when I call all of those beings forward, is literally like a huge, like I'm surrounded by all of these beings. And so they're just with me all the time. And so depending on, like they got messages for me, I say like this vessel that I'm in, right? This like meat suit is just like a giant filing system. And so I just pay attention and listen. And a lot of that gets channeled into my poetry. And from there, I write mantras, and, then they come into chants, and I guess all of this is just mashed up into a light language. Eventually, it all just serves.
I like that. I like that. I mean, I think it's it's amazing how I just find it impeccable how you're able to harness all that energy and then let it flow through you and still be able to help so many people all at the same time. Like it's like a superpower.
It is a superpower. That's exactly what I say. My sensitivities are my superpower. It has taken me quite a long time to get here. I am 48 and a half years old. So this wasn't something that certainly I just, stepped out into the world and I was like, bam, let's go. No, I had to walk through and heal from a ton of my own trauma, and really develop practices in order to keep my vessel clear, clean, and functioning. So that means that, sometimes I isolate myself from people. I have a lot of practices. I meditate. I'm really big in movement. I'm a trained dancer. I love to run. I've done triathlons. I love to sing and dance, and I just really am very careful with what I put in my body, what I am consuming all around, not just what I am eating and drinking, which I am an incredibly clean eater. I'm a recovering alcoholic and drug addict. So those things do not mix with channeling spirit. And that is something I've had to learn along the way. But yeah, so it hasn't always been a smooth ride. But now, all these years in, and definitely being, a number of years sober, I'm 5 years sober, which is amazing for me, because I was quite abusive with the things that I used to do to be very destructive to my being, because all of this was so much for me. It was so loud. It was very confusing. And then I worked with my teacher, who was a shaman, and my life has not looked the same since. And so when I had my big awakening, everything just made sense. And I was like, okay, here I am, let's go. And then it was like off to the races.
So do you feel like you describe yourself as like a spiritual doctor in a sense?
Yes, I'm a spiritual surgeon for sure. The things that yes, absolutely. I will absolutely tell you that I am. The things that I do, depending on, so when I'm working on somebody and I'm like tuning into their energetic field, and I can see their chakra column, and I'm literally like, I'm sewing light. It's like, yeah, it's like I have a needle and thread, and I'm like stitching light, and removing things. And I'm doing all this with light language. So before I started speaking light language, I was always a toner and a chanter. And so whenever I would lock into somebody's field, I would just, with my own voice and a drum, start moving energy around. Now it is my drum, it's the light language. And that is how I operate. I also used to work with a lot of crystals, and I've kind of moved past a lot of that. I still have some crystals around me, but I have now elevated to a point where like I'm accessing the crystal vibration within my own being. So, yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's intense. Listen. It's
Well, I'm
pretty
like a
intense.
walking
Like
crystal. You're a walking crystal. We're walking crystals. We're walking elements of this earth. We're filled with, most of us, human beings are water and light. And I think there's going to be so much more coming out about the actual truth of human powers, things that we have been cut off from. But we're made to heal. We don't need all of these like outside like chemicals and this like nonsense that, you know, has been created to
Yeah.
really keep us stuck in a lot of ways. And I
Yeah.
can speak into that because I was somebody who was on medications for quite some time, and I don't want to say to anybody to not be on medications because they did serve me for a time, but then they became very detrimental to my life. And I found holistic healing, and holistic healing is for me true healing because it is everlasting. I have never been more grounded, centered, and happy in my life.
No, yeah, you're right. I mean, I think that, when you go through, because here's the thing, and that's how I always see it. It's like holistic healing allows for you to naturally cleanse what's really going on, or either, create preventative measures to avoid certain things. I think that when you're in a space where you're like, okay, I have to take this, I have to take that. Yes, it does allow for you to kind of create this awareness of, hey, something's wrong or something's going on and I can't really identify it, but I know it's something going on. And so once you start taking the medicine, you're like, okay, this is cool. But then you realize there's like 100,000 side effects. And so now you're like, okay, how do I deal with this, and how do I process this? I don't feel normal. And so then you really start drifting over into, okay, what are some natural ways of me doing this? Because natural medicine has always been around before even, pharmaceuticals.
Absolutely.
And so it's
Absolutely,
like, how
yeah.
do we,
Absolutely.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And the kind of shaman I am. So I like to, I do use a lot of herbal supplements. I also have a lot of flower essences and herbs that I will grind and I will burn in rituals and ceremonies for my clients. And so, yeah, no, I 100% use a lot of ancient techniques. I know my teacher has said to me, you are so old school. You are like walking drugs, Maria. And she means like plant that, like just the plants, the things that are here growing in the earth.
Yeah. Yeah. So if someone said to you they wanted to walk the path of a shaman,
Mm.
uh, what advice would you give them? Like, what would you tell them, or what would you warn them about? What would you say?
Okay, so I always bring humor into a lot of things. Like laughter is the best medicine. And I've always said to people, there was never one time in my life where I ever said, I'm going to be a shaman. That never happened. This is a calling. This is a calling. This is just, a culmination of the experiences that I've had in my life. Because from the time I was very young, ever since I can remember, spirit has spoken to me. And at first I was very curious, and then I've gone through an immense amount of trauma, literally from the age of 2. So it has taken me a long time to really understand who I am and my connection to everything, and how spirit is here to guide us and to help us. And like, it's honoring my ancestors, the people who've come before me who want the best for me. It's me giving them my burdens, and allowing them to help me. So it's a lot of allowing, it's a lot of letting go. You can't take, somebody was asking me recently, a client of mine, like how she can control her intuition. And I was like, oh, no, 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 no. There's no controlling anything. It's embracing and allowing. Because that's a very, I would say, very like 3D way of looking at it, a very linear way of like, oh, I got to control this. No, no, no. Anytime we try to control something, there's like a resistance to it and friction. I have the image of like me, and it's like, no, 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 no. This is actually like very like it's the opposite. It's very flowy. It's like allowing things to flow. Um, and so yeah, like I mean, I say I go back to like the things that my teacher said to me, the very simple things, like as long as you remain true to yourself, Maria, everything will just flow from you. And for me, it's being true to yourself is staying heart centered, like staying aligned with my own vibration, my own intentions, my own integrity. This work requires, I believe, a hell of a lot of commitment and integrity. Because if you are going to make this about yourself, please do not try to help other people. It's not about yourself. It's literally like, I am just bringing my light into your world so that you can heal yourself. I am not healing you. I've healed me. That's what I have done. I have successfully healed myself. I can come in and I can guide you on how to heal yourself. And I can do that because I've been through everything a human being can experience here on this earth. Literally everything. There's nothing I haven't faced.
So, in your experiences, like in your traumatic experiences, how does that affect your ability to tap into, things on a spiritual level? Like, do you think that it has to like shred and break things within you in order for you to be able to see certain things? Like, how does that work
Yes,
from your
yes,
perspective?
I believe so. I believe so. I believe that everything was a doorway, a threshold, an invitation for me to go deeper. And that is just how I see the world. That's how I process. Like I don't do surface. I don't understand like small talk. I'm just like immediately like I'm lost. Maybe a lot of that has to do with I'm neurodivergent, so I do process everything on a very extrasensory level. I say like God sent me here with all my sense settings on high. And so it was like learning the gears of Maria Teresa. That is what my life is consisted of. It's learning my own gears. And so yes, I do. I feel like everything that I was experiencing, and honestly, I knew this even as a young person. I was like, there's got to be a reason for this. There's going to be a meaning for this. And I always felt very protected, even in incredibly dangerous and traumatic experiences. I was like, something is guiding me, something is pulling me through this. And that is my faith. And so, yeah, that is 100% very true for my experiences here and how they have allowed me to tap in and bring those in to my gifts in order to help somebody else move through the same thing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that, like I know for me, that's just been the case. I've always had to endure some deep traumatic experiences. And through that, I've, gained access to the depths of who I am. And I think it's also about, you knowing that you're supposed to walk through this. And it's hard, it hurts, it's intense. It requires a lot of patience, a lot of grace. And it also requires, your connection to God in a sense, because it's like a lot of times people don't, I think when they think of like your spiritual, a lot of people remove God from the equation,
Mm.
and they feel as if though it's like, that you're not doing spiritual work in a sense on a higher level. They think it from a more so from just a religious perspective, but spirituality is also the depths of our spiritual journey and why we're here and what the purpose of it is. So, yeah. So,
Absolutely. I 100% agree. But I mean, I've walked in all different areas, right? Like I was raised Catholic and I also went through AA. So I would be guiding people as a sponsor to connect to a higher power. And a lot of times people would have a very hard time with God. And that the word God is is sometimes triggering for people. And I would say, listen, it's a force greater than yourself. Now, for me, I have always had God, but I also connect very deeply with nature. So it's like if you can just if the beach is your God, if the trees are your God, however you're going to find a connection that is outside of yourself, because we are all connected. It is this giant source that we all come from. And so if that's going to
yeah.
make you feel better, if that's like your pathway forward, then I say all for it. I'm not going to tell anybody like what to believe in or how to believe, but you've got to believe in something outside yourself.
Yeah, you do. Because I think that, when you do that, I think that's the beginning stages of love. Like when
Yes.
you actually start to, you know what I mean? Like just
I love
getting
that you just
outside
brought
of
up
you.
love. I love it. I love it. Yes. Yes, because I mean, so what I say so much of my writing is love is the greatest untapped superpower that we have. It is here to heal us all. And it's beyond romantic love. I mean, there is love in everything. Love is the only truth. That's actually one of the mantras that I use when I'm in session. Yeah. I receive
Wow.
light, I
Wow.
give love. Love is all I am. Love is the only truth. I am love. I am love. You are love. When we connect through love, that is how we heal. It's not through fear. It's not through hate.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of times people they go through things and then they're always like, and they get to the space of their spiritual journey and they're so focused on, okay, I have like this ability now, and it's like,
Mm,
okay, now I have like all the power, and like now I
mm,
can control and do this and do that with people, and it's like it's almost like a thing where you take an oath. It's a quiet, silent oath, but it's an oath nonetheless to do no harm, right? And in a whether that's directly or indirectly, because a lot of times people get caught up in the feeling of
hmm
not having power, going from
hmm
not having power to having it now, and now they're
hmm
using it in a way to control. And I always feel like true power is empowerment in understanding how to control and harness who you are more than anything, so that way it comes through you instead of being controlled by you.
Absolutely. That's why
You know?
going back to what I was saying about allowing and embracing and giving, all of these things, like it's coming through me and towards others. It has nothing to do
Yeah.
with Mary Teresa. I actually, when I first started this work, I would actually call myself back. I would call my soul forward, and she has a name. Her name is Serena. So I would call Serena forward, and she would be the one that was channeling. It's not has nothing to do with me or my own intentions. It is, and that is what I ask a client of mine, or when I'm in a group, I set a giant group collective intention to do, the highest and best for all. And it is absolutely what it's about. It is, I always say to people, be very careful with who you choose to, let into your energy field in this work, because I have heard a lot of horror stories, unfortunately, and people are very ego based and they do look at it like, oh, I'm so powerful. Like, my goodness gracious, no. Stay away from those people. Thanks,
Yeah.
but no thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, because this is
Go with your gut. Always go
again,
with your
it's
gut. That's my best advice. Go with your gut.
yeah, yeah, like again, it's also like the thing of like when you look at people who are light workers, it's more of a thing of like it's the emphasis on light, right? It's like you have to have enough light in you to actually shine on other people, and so that they
hmm
can heal in their own way. A lot of times
hmm
people get caught up in the idea of just themselves, and it's like, how do you separate yourself from what you have to do? It's really, you have to see that this is bigger than you, and it goes
hmm
beyond you. Like, it goes beyond, it's a ripple effect. It's like everything you're going to do, even in a moment, is going to happen. It's going to have such an effect on people. Like, the first person you heal, their interaction with the next person is going to heal that next person. Whether it's small or
Absolutely.
big, doesn't matter. But it began with you. You know what I mean? And so it's just like people understanding the power of that and the importance of that. And yeah, just
Well,
having integrity. Not a lot of
absolutely.
people do that.
It is a self-started journey. The best thing I can do and what I have done is heal myself. And now I go out and I assist other people, because that is just who I am. It's how I was built. It's how I'm wired to be caring and of assistance and a servant. I'm a servant of God. And so, yeah, it does definitely come from an intention. I've come across a lot of people who don't know how to hold space. And that is what healers do. I am holding space for you. I am literally becoming like this little nest. And I'm like, here you go. I can relate, but this is not about me. This is about you. So I'm going to listen and I'm going to give from my heart. And it's has nothing to do with me at all. And if you see yourself starting to insert yourself or become triggered by somebody else's, that please take a step back. Please remove yourself. Like, I mean, these are things, and I gotta say from experience, because I have worked with a number of other healers, and I was taken aback by how people weren't really being true to their own healing journeys, yet still working with other people when honestly they weren't. I was like, wait, where's your integrity? Where's your intention? What is this about for you? Is this about you? Because like, I mean, it's for real. It's for real stuff.
Well, because people just make it about them so much. It's like, okay, well, oh, I'm here to heal you. And it's like, okay, no, but I need you to acknowledge that I'm healing you. Okay. Uh, and I need you to understand that you wouldn't be healed if it wasn't for me.
Mm.
Okay. Right? So it's like
That's some horror.
all
That's some
of
horror
that.
you're talking about. It's like a horror
Yeah,
movie.
right? Like,
Yeah, that's yeah, that is very manipulative. This just sounds very this to be able to really be a true healer, it has nothing to do with manipulating the energy. It's about
mm,
allowing somebody, and I go back to my teacher because she was so wonderful in doing this. She always put everything back on me. Maria, how does that make you feel? Well, what do you think? And that's what I do. I'm just reflecting. When I'm working with somebody, I'm reflecting. And that is why my light is allowed to shine through, because I'm just reflecting onto you, and you're going to pick up what you need to pick up from that. And I'm going to guide you along. Yeah, I'm just giving you
yeah.
like the reins. Like, here you go. Yeah.
So in your way of processing things, like how much self-reflection do you do?
Well, I mean, I always say, I love questions like this because I always say that, having all of these extra senses, which really is just human senses, but I pick up on everything. I've
Yeah.
been gifted the ability to write. And so I have been a writer my whole life. That was one of the first things. That was something I said, when I was a child. I want to be a writer. So I have a journal and I journal a lot. My poetry is really, those are messages from my soul. They land in a lot of sessions, and they've really helped a lot of people that I've worked with, which is amazing. It's like, I always say I'm never not in awe of the divine orchestration of everything, but I definitely need to spend time in observing. And that is what meditation does. It allows me to get out of my own story in my head and just become an observer. And then I'm able to observe everything else outside of me and not try to like interject all the time. But yeah, it does take a lot of self-reflection. That is something that is always been very important to me. I like to ride a bike. I do it when I'm on my bike. I do it when I'm out walking. I talk to myself all the time. We're our own best audiences. Don't let anyone ever tell you, that you're crazy or like something's wrong with you because you're talking to yourself. It's a very good thing to do.
No, listen, I used when I was younger, because both of my brothers are older than me, it's like I always had to just have conversations with myself. What about this? What about that? What if I can do this? And what if I can do that? And I think what happens is that you start to really hone in on that you have your own home within yourself, and you build
Mm.
it little by time.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so, a lot of times people look at it like, oh, well, you're crazy. You should really want to communicate with other people. And you should. But I think when it comes down to reflection, it's like, you know, life responds to how you respond to you, not vice versa.
Absolutely.
And so that's kind of,
That's also one of my other mantras is home. Home is in my heart. I am at home in my own heart. And that is 100% true. 100% true, because the love that I have for myself has to be self-sourced. I always say to my clients, you can't externalize love. If you're looking to fill a hole with something outside of you, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to create
Mhm.
suffering for yourself. That is literally how suffering continues to go on, is looking for an external something. It has to come from within. And in order for me to love anything, I have to love myself first.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that what happens is like when things in life come to you, it's really a question of whether you want to stay who you are or whether you
Mm,
want to move forward. Even if it's like, it's more of like, do you want to, are you ready to be uncomfortable in another way? So that
mm,
way you can continue. Because in this life, it's like, unfortunately, even as you get older, you're always still growing. And it's like, man, I'm like, I'm almost 40 or almost 50 or almost this or almost that. I should be able to just be like, to just be. But I
mm,
think a lot of times people, they don't realize that it's like, it's still a journey and still growth. And most times when you get, in a sense, complacent, you wind up going backwards. Not right away, but I always found that to be the case, that people just wind up going backwards instead of moving forward. Because that's how
mm.
life goes. It's just like, it's progressive.
Yeah, it is like a rolling stone, like Bob Dylan said, we gotta like keep rolling on, because yeah, like life is just a series of lessons. That's what we're here
Yeah.
for, and it's constantly questioning. I mean, I've just always been somebody who has always been incredibly curious and questioned everything, and that is what has led me along the way because I'm curious. I'd like to learn, and why does this feel like this? And then how does this affect me? And if it affects me this way, maybe I should do this. And you know, it's just moving outside of the box that you put yourself in. That's how you grow. I'm doing that right now in the container
Yeah.
that I'm in. Very uncomfortable, because growth happens in uncomfortability. You don't stay the same being the same and staying comfortable. Growth happens in challenging yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does. Because you do reach a space where you're like, hey, I'm comfortable. This feels
Hmm.
great for me. But then you're like, but what am I learning? And I always ask myself that question: what am I learning? Like, is this teaching me anything? Is this helping me to, show up as the best version of me?
Yes.
And even though the best version of you is ever evolving, it's still, are you still willing to show up for you?
Well, I
You
always
know?
say, I go back to I love Don Miguel Ruiz and his son Don Jose, and they're world famous shamans. The Four Agreements, like that's a book I've been reading for years and years. And if I can,
Mhm.
feel that I am doing my best in every situation, then but that requires a lot of checking of myself in order for me to do my best. It's putting my all into everything, and that's who I am. Like if I don't feel 100% about something, I don't do it. If I'm not like going to show up 100% and give my all, then it's going to be a no thank you for me. And that's okay. It took me a long time to get there. I was
Gotcha.
a big, big, big people pleaser for a long time. Like, how can I like do this, this, and this, and like so you can accept me and love me? And then like again, that's just creating suffering.
Yeah. I think, like I said, I think doing that, it takes a lot of strength to do it. A lot of times it's the
Mm.
war, it's kind of like the war you fight in silence that creates the fearlessness that you give to the world, you know? And so
Mm.
that's just what it is.
Well,
Yeah.
I love that we're talking about this in Aries season. We're on the precipice of this very powerful and potent new moon tomorrow. That is a reset for your soul. And warrior energy, the warrior archetype is Aries energy. And we are now being offered an invitation to really choose the higher expression of the warrior. It is not about warring other people. It is about let's do what's best for the collective. Let's be peace warriors.
Yeah.
How about that? How about we
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
really tune into other people and come together. And it's not about just it is the I am. the warrior is the I am. And so like I have this poem that I'd love to share with you because it is about a warrior, but this
Yes.
warrior speaks in light, which ties in our conversation about light language. So the warrior who speaks in light. The beating heart of a warrior cuts through the static of disconnected souls. Clouds part to reveal a beautiful angel who chose to incarnate to Earth in the assistance of humanity's consciousness evolution. For long periods of time, she felt the sting of the lower vibrations like fear and anger, which confused her because all she knows is love. Tender-hearted and pure, there were many lessons she had to learn. Wearing her heart upon her sleeve, her light she could never deny, as much as she tried to hide. She's a giver, a lover of all, not a fierce fighter, but a warrior for peace. The sacrifices she's made in her life have served to direct her mission by understanding others through experience, to feel and truly heal, endlessly opening by allowing all to exist as it is, while tending to her inner world. Her depths are surely deep, and the pain she has carried has finally evaporated by the light language that she speaks. And I believe that that is, I go back to these like very simple mantras. Life is an inside outside game. It's an in out. It's not an out in. You know, God is trying to come out. He's not trying to seep into us. He already is in here. And whether, he, she, however you want to look at it, the source of all that is it lies inside of you. So learn about yourself. Focus on yourself.
Yeah.
Cultivate yourself, and then share that with the world. Don't share your yuck. And hey, we all have yuck. But like learn how to surf like a float, swim with your yuck. And then transmute that into the beautifulness that you really are. And that's the truth. So, I have this triangle. A lot of things I do are in threes, pretty ritualistic that way. And so it's like simplicity of the mind, patience in the body, and love in the soul. And that I like to work off of very simple things. Because I think we complicate the shit out of things. And then it's like we just get lost in like, oh, I have to do this, and this. And it's like, no, actually, it's pretty simple. My being is free.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I say every day. In me being who I am, my being allows me to be free. And therefore, it allows other people I come across to feel the freedom within themselves.
And you know what? I think that's the best way to approach everything, because keeping things simple allows for you to, you process information a lot better. I think it's weird how our minds are complex and how we want to look for answers to problems and create problems in order to create answers. But then it's also our nervous system really wants simple solutions. Like, why are you in pain? I don't have love. What do you need the most? I need a hug. What's wrong right now? I'm hungry. What do you feel like is missing? I wish someone spent time with me. Like, these are things that are so simple that your nervous system just needs, and it knows it. And you'll know it because it'll be like, as soon as you do it, it'll be like, it'll decompress automatically. And so, that takes a lot to really sit with. And a lot of times people, as you grow up, as you live through life, you feel like the simplest thing, something's wrong with it. What's supposed to be a common thread, a human thread, has been severed in a way that doesn't allow for us to connect as easily.
Well, I really feel like you're talking about feelings. And so feelings are healing. And so when we are allowed to acknowledge our feelings, that's our human journey. That is what distinguishes us from everything, is the ability to feel. And so when you know how you feel, then you know how to respond to your body. And so it is, acknowledge, surrender, accept, release. And that is really what your body is asking you to do. So yeah, sometimes it's
So
through
I'm gonna,
physical interaction, sometimes it's through like, putting something in your body. But it's about what we're doing for our bodies.
so I have these. It's funny you mentioned that, right? So I'm gonna ask you in a simple way,
Hmm.
right? And you can give me like a, in a simple response. Okay, so when you think of acknowledgement in the most
Hmm.
simplest way, how would you describe it?
It's literally just noticing. For me, like I have a very high attention to detail, so I tend to notice everything. So it's just acknowledging is noticing. It's paying attention.
Okay. Okay. What is, how would you define forgiveness from your perspective?
Forgiveness is letting go of like the stickiness of anger or of even a higher hate, rage, resentment. Those are really heavy. So forgiveness is a letting go.
Okay. How would you define surrender?
Mm. I see the act of surrender as a giving over. It's a give for me, it's a giving over to God. It's a giving over to my spirit guides. It's saying, I don't want to carry this anymore. This is a burden. I'm like weighed down. I'm going to lay this down. I'm going to surrender it. And so for me, when I am praying, I'm always like a lot of times hands like up and like sometimes I'm actually bowing over to keep my mind like on the ground and my, because heart, everything is like heart above. I kind of want to go back to forgiveness because I feel like it's a releasing as well. It's a releasing of because I sat with this for a long time years ago when I was really going through a lot of my issues and trauma. And what I noticed was forgiveness is like it's not saying that what happened is okay, but it is. So forgiveness and acceptance to me are like kind of entwined.
Okay. Well, I had acceptance on there, so we now know it's intertwined now.
Yeah, I see them like this, like kind of like, like it just entwines when I, because a lot of people struggle with forgiveness, and it's like it's when I said letting go, for me, it's like letting go of the emotion that blocks me from forgiveness. So I've got to work on letting go of whatever is holding me back from forgiving
Hmm.
and in turn accepting. They're just hand in hand.
How would you define release? Like when you're,
Hmm.
releasing things from yourself, how would you
Well,
define
for
that?
me, like that's a very physical sensation. Like I can feel when I'm either working with somebody and they've had a release, I can see it in them. And then when I'm doing my own work, or if somebody happens, if I have to be receiving energy work, it's like literally like just like you like make a little tight little fist and then let go. So I have this vision. Whenever I am holding on too closely, too tightly to something, I get this, and my guides give this vision to me a lot when it's necessary. I'm holding on to something with my little hand, and all my angels come around me, and one by one, they help me to open my fingers, and we just open my hand and just let it go. So that's release.
Now, lastly,
Mhm.
ascension. How would you define ascension?
Ascension is a leveling up. Ascension, it happens in layers and in levels. So it's a rising.
Whenever we do this interviews, it's never boring. Yeah, it's never boring at all. So I know that you have events coming up,
I do.
right? So you want to tell everybody about them?
I do. I am here right now in the Salt Lake City area, and I have an event coming up April 25th in Salt Lake City at Mandala Healing Journeys at 7 p.m. And I also have an event coming up May 9th at a facility called Wild Grace in Murray, Utah at 7 p.m. And both of those events are on Eventbrite. Just Google, search Maria Teresa, search energy healing, and you will find me. Light language experience. It's called Pathways to Peace, a light language experience.
It's amazing, y'all. It's amazing. We're going to leave the link in the description below so you guys can just click on it and choose which one you want to go to, whether it's the 25th or the 9th. Again, I'm always taken back by, you know, when we talk. So it's never the same. But I appreciate you taking the time. I appreciate everything that you do. The journey is not easy. And it takes a very brave soul to face themselves in order to heal the world.
No, I have a little light language message for you. Yes. Enlighten in shadow, always with love. Namaste.
That's how cool that was. I'm just saying. That was awesome. Maria, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
And I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.